Thank you very much for joining Sky News Arabia this morning. I want to understand your take on what President Trump has said when he suggested that Ukraine may be Russian someday. And he said, or he stressed, that he wanted to see a return on investment with US aid for Ukraine. Your take?
I always will say those words, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. This is something everyone should understand. And I'm not the person who can judge President Trump's statements, but I know this part of the world, and I know Russia, because they have been our neighbors since many years and since hundreds of years. And I know that for Ukraine, if they will be ready for negotiations, they will do it. But if they will not receive what they want, integrity, sovereignty of their territory, and what President Zelensky has said, his people has died for those territories. So he will need to have a solution which is sustainable, which is long-term solution. So, and I believe President Trump and his team understands that, and they're working on this kind of solution.
So you don't think that we will see an end to that war anytime soon, despite what we're hearing from President Trump?
For me, it's more important that it is sustainable peace. And it is peace where we can see Ukraine wins and Russia loses.
But the position of Ukraine today is weaker, you believe, without the full support of US?
I believe Europe and we as Latvians, we are still supporting Ukraine. We are sending 0.25 of our GDP for military aid to Ukraine. And we as Europeans have decided we will keep supporting them until any solution for Ukraine is reached. So therefore, Ukraine cannot be weakened before the process. It's very important, yes, that they can enter any peace negotiations with strong support from European countries.
So the support of Europe will not change if the support of US changes?
No.
That is for sure?
Yes, Europe has negotiated for a very long, and we actually have started integration process of Ukraine and Moldova into EU. So there are EU countries, and it is important for EU as much as for Ukraine that there is a peace which is sustainable. So therefore, we need Ukraine to be strong in those negotiations, because if Ukraine is weak, Europe is weak.
Latvia has cut all kind of energy ties with Russia. And the last one was the electricity grid. How are you securing your energy needs now?
We actually cut like the last ties, which was balancing the electricity in between Russia and Belarus and all Baltic states. This was the final stage, but we were preparing for many years before our infrastructure. So we are connected with Western Europe and Scandinavian countries. But therefore, as we are in a one circle within Europe right now, that's how we secure our electricity. As well, we have a lot of hydrogen electricity, and we are working on renewables as wind and solar systems.
I think the world is changing with the new administration in the US. I would like to understand your take on the economic policies, the trade actions taken by President Trump, and of course, let me say what he has been saying about Europe not being fair to the US, and that Europe did treat the US bad, and therefore there will be consequences and probably trade tariffs.
US has been always Latvia's and Europe's transatlantic partner. It is very important that we can cooperate, coordinate many different issues, which is very important for US as well as for Europe as well as for Latvia. So yes, I have heard yesterday about President Trump's proposal for Europe to put on tariffs, and I know as well, because we discussed with our commissioner Ursula von der Leyen, that there will be response.
What do you expect?
There will be response, but for me it's
important. Will they hit back with tariffs?
There will be a negotiations. Sure, Europe will negotiate, and we will, and US as well will need to answer to our answer. But my concern is I don't want European people as well as US people to pay the price. They're not ready and they don't need, it's not a fair price for them to pay. So therefore it should be a fair solution for both countries.
So from your point of view, there will be an impact on the American people and the Europeans.
Sure, because Europe as well supports a lot of supplies, gives a lot of supplies and services to United States. And therefore it's not just the one way, it's both ways around.
So both will be impacted, you mean?
That's what's happening always if two sides are starting to negotiate. There is always two sides which has some impact on that. But my interest is to have a fair impact because yes, US is our very good transatlantic partner. And we as Latvians, we have worked with Trump previous administration and we know a little bit of pattern. So therefore for us, sure, it's very important to have a good international relations.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for joining us.